weaver, iron smelter, and factory owners. Next, Surat in Gujarat on the west coast of India was one of the most important ports of the Indian Ocean trade. Dutch and English trading shops began using the port from the early 17th centuries. Its importance declined in the 18th century. Next, this chapter tells the story of the crafts and industries of India during British rule by focusing on two industries, namely textiles and iron and steel. Next, both these industries were crucial for the industrial revolution in the modern world. Next, production of cotton textile made Britain the foremost industrial nation in the 19th century, and when its iron and steel industries started growing from the 1815, Britain came to be known as the workshop of the world. Next, the industrializations of Britain had close connection with the conquest and colonizations of India. Next, you have seen chapter 2, how the English East India Company's interest in trade led to occupation of territory, and how the pattern of trade changed over the decades. In the late 18th century, in the company was buying goods in India and exporting them to England and Europe, making profit through this sale. With the growth of industrial productions, British industries began to see India as a waste market for their industrial products, and over time manufactured goods from Britain began flooding India. Next, how did this affect Indian crafts and industries? This is question we will explore in the chapter. Next, let us first look at textile production around 1751. Before the British conquered Bengal, India was by far the world's largest producer of cotton textile. Indian textile had long been renowned both for their fine quality and exquisite craftsmanship. They were extensively traded in Southeast Asia, Java, Sumatra, and Panjang, and West and Central Asia. From the 16th century, European trading companies began buying Indian textile for sale in Europe. Memories of these flourishing trade and the craftsmanship of Indian weavers is preserved in many works still current in English and other language. He is interesting to trace the origin of such words and see what they tell us. Next, word tell us histories. European traders first encountered fine cotton cloth from India carried by Arab merchants in Mosul in present day Iraq. Next, so they began referring to all finely woven textile as Muslim, a word that acquired wide currency when the Portugal first came to India in search of spices. These landed in Calicut on the Kerala coast in southwest India. Next, the cotton textile which they booked back to Europe along with the spice came to be called calico, derived from Calicut, and subsequently calico became the general name for all cotton textile. Next, there are many other words which point to the popularity of Indian textiles in Western markets. In picture 3, you can see a page of an order book that the English East India Company sent to its representatives in Calcutta in 1730. Next, the order that year was for 500 pieces of cloth. Browse through the order book, you would have seen a list of 198 varieties of cotton and silk cloths. These were known by their common name in the European trade as pieces goods, usually woven cloth pieces that were 20 years long and 1 yard wide. Next, a page from the order book of the East India Company 1730. Notice how each item in the order book was carefully priced in London. This order had to be placed 2 years in advance because this was the time required to send order to India, get the specific cloths woven and shipped to Britain. Once the cloth pieces arrived to London, they were put up for auction and sold. Next, now look at the names of different varieties of cloth in book. Amongst the species ordered in bulk were printed cotton cloths called Chinese, corsage for casa and bandana. Do you know where the English item chintu come from? It is derived from the Hindi word chint, a cloth with small and colorful flowery designs. From the 1680s, there started a craze for printed Indian cotton textile in England and Europe, mainly for their exquisite floral designs, fine texture, and relative shapes. Rich people of England, including the Queen herself, wrung cloths of Indian fabric